guys, today we're here at Weir High, and today's topic is going to be cryogenics.
That's correct. And cryogenics, girls, I have it written up here, means the study of very, very cold temperatures, colder than like what we're used to, colder than even like on the coldest winter day. And what we're going to investigate today is called liquid nitrogen. And a short way of saying liquid nitrogen is LIN. You know, people that make it and so on just call it LIN. And liquid nitrogen is very, very cold. For the science folks, the temperature is negative 197 degrees Celsius. And on the Fahrenheit scale, you know, that's the temperature scale we use in everyday life, Elizabeth, is negative 321 degrees below zero. That sounds really cold, huh? Yeah, it's extremely cold. And when you're working with liquid nitrogen, you have to be like very, very careful. You have to wear, you know, gloves when you're handling it. I have special gloves for cryogenic gloves. You should have eye protection on. And when you move liquid nitrogen around, we keep it in a special container called a Dewar flask. We actually have 3 of them at Weir High School. And the smallest one to handle looks like this. And it's kind of like a thermos bottle, except a thermos bottle couldn't hold anything that cold. There's a vacuum inside of here, and it helps keep the liquid nitrogen in there. I have some liquid nitrogen in here and in the beaker. And liquid nitrogen, sometimes, you know what people ask me about liquid nitrogen?
How do you make liquid nitrogen?
Exactly. They wonder, how can you make anything that cold? Well, the way they make liquid nitrogen is they start with what you have all around us. Like, what do we have all around us right here, Elizabeth, in the room? We have what? What do we breathe in and breathe out? Just air, right. I know you were thinking I was looking for a real hard answer, but it's just air. And they take air and they filter it. You know how air might have dust and stuff in it. They remove the dust. And then they put air in a great big tower and they compress it. They like push it together and the air gets warm. Like when you compress a gas, it gets warm. And then what they do is they remove the heat until it's the same temperature as before. And then when it expands, it gets cold. Did you ever let air out of a bicycle tire? Did you ever do that? Or did you do that maybe, Erica? And does it feel warm or cold?
It's a long time ago, but I thought it felt cold.
It does. You have it, because when gases expand, they get cold. And what happens is it gets cold in the tower, and they do that over and over again until it changes into a liquid, and then they separate different gases. They separate argon, nitrogen that we have in here, and they separate oxygen. And what do you think would happen if you put your hand in liquid nitrogen, you forgot, and you went like this?
It would really hurt if you hit your head after you did it.
Well, it would hurt your head, but not only that, but you know what would happen to your hand?
It would freeze.
It would freeze, and you know what else would happen?
It would come off.
It would shatter, right. And what we're going to do is take just ordinary glove. I'm going to let you girls make this. And you're going to take hot dogs, put them in as fingers. We're going to put it into liquid nitrogen. And then when we hit it on the desk, what would the hot dogs do, do you think? Break. So why don't you step around me here. And the girls will let you fill up the glove, the fingers, with the hot dog. Okay? You don't have to get it in all the way. Well, this egg does look like it's cooked. There you go, we got 2 more to go. Maybe we'll put some styrofoam over the top. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. You could even break them in half and shove them in. Helps. Oh, let me see there, girls. I'll see what I could do. Yeah, I think the hot dogs might actually be bigger than the fingers. We'll kind of just, push that in a little. You know what might be a good idea? You know why the hot dog's not going in? You know what's in here taking up space?
Air.
Air. So what we could do here is just take the scissors, and that's just trim the fingernails a little bit. Trim here, 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 and we'll get to this guy later. And now that we have air, let's see if you can get that. Oh, see how you can actually get that in? You got one in. I don't know if this looks much like a fake hand. What do you think? How it looks like a finger to you? Well, let's see here. We'll do another one. This one here, we have the hot dog actually falling apart already on us. You know, certain animals, I know raccoons and stuff, just have 4 fingers. We could pretend it's like, you know, not a, we can, shall we go with 4-finger hand? And let's put a little bit of styrofoam in here. Can you grab that over there? Okay, Erica, just put a little bit of foam here. And we're going to put it in liquid nitrogen. We'll give it a couple minutes to freeze. And then, it doesn't look much like a fake hand, but we'll just smack it real hard, and maybe the fingers will fall off. I'll put my gloves on. What do you think? I don't know if you had eggs for breakfast, did you, today? Not today. But if you did, and your mom brought this out, you might, when you first looked at it, when you think it's a real egg, maybe, or I don't know. Looks like it's overdone. Let's pour this in. Here we are. Let's put the 4-fingered hand in. We'll pre-freeze it. And I have my seniors. I have older kids. I have juniors and seniors work with liquid nitrogen. And whenever they freeze stuff, they always ask me, how can I tell when it's frozen? You notice when I put the glove in, it started boiling very, very fast. And now what's happening? It's going what? Slower. And that's because the temperature of the glove and the hot dogs is getting close to the temperature of the liquid nitrogen. And when it's hardly boiling, then it's frozen. And we'll wait just a moment more. You notice, again, the frost, the ice that's being formed around the beaker. Sometimes when your table is wet, this happened to one of my students, he went to pick up the beaker, and you know what happened? It was frozen to the table. And you know what the best thing to do if it becomes frozen to the table? Just wait, because the liquid nitrogen will boil away, and then you can lift it. Okay. Okay, here we go. I could actually, if you wanted to make it look like a fake hand, you could actually put it in your sleeve. See how it almost looks like fingers? And you would say, oh no, I put my hands in liquid nitrogen, and see how the hand just shattered. Here we got one finger left, and here you go. And if you really wanted to scare people, but you don't want to, well, maybe, for a joke, if you can mix 2 chemicals together, and when you mix them together, what do they look like? Yeah, and you can have like even fake blood on the hand. And you would never want to put your hand in liquid nitrogen, but if you did, that's what would happen to you. And this concludes our introduction to cryogenics. What do you girls think?
Now back to you guys at the Clay Center.